Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to go over my empties for the months of October and November. If you're not familiar with empties videos, basically we go through the items that you've used up in your collection and we kind of give mini reviews and just say if we would repurchase things or not. And so I have a lot to go through. I have about 20 makeup items and a good bit of skincare, a good bit of body care. So why don't we go ahead and get into it. Okay, as we get started, I have two items that I'm going to declutter. These don't go towards the value of things that I used up, but I have, when I started my first empties this year in 2020, I did start to try to declutter at least one item every empties video. So this one, I have two here. I have this ColourPop shadow in the shade Monkey Business, and I have hit pan on it. It was in a project pan. I ended up having to use this as blush because honestly, I don't really enjoy the matte formula at all from ColourPop in the Super Shock form. I find that this dried out pretty, I mean, like it's not the newest thing in my collection, but it's not the oldest either. And if you can see that, it just doesn't really show up on my skin anymore. And I had to really dig a brush in there to even get it like to show up. And I know that people have talked about being able to revive this with some oil, but honestly, it's just a shade that I'm forcing myself to use when I have other blushes in my collection that I like better. I have other eyeshadows in my collection that I like better. So I figure I'm not very traditionally good at letting things go, but I do think I can tell myself to let this one go. So this one's going goodbye. And then I have this here from Wet n Wild. This is one of those cream metallic glitter shadows that came out with their Midnight Mermaid collection. And mine's just dried out. Like, I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Like, it just barely shows up. These also had a black base to them, and I find that I just don't like to get them to show up nicely. You kind of need to wear black or dark eyeshadow and then apply these on top, and that's just not how I typically do my makeup. So it's definitely time to also let this go because it's just not the kind of makeup that I do anymore. It's sad to throw away and kind of waste product, which is honestly what happened here. But at the same time, I am learning about my preferences, and I know in the future if it has a black base like this, I'm not going to use it, and so therefore I will not buy any more of these in the future. Alright, now we're getting into the declutters, and I like to go through these based on like category in which I would apply them to the face. So I have a number of, like I said, I had 18 or 20, I think, makeup items to go through. So I'll go through kind of like face and base products first. I have two primers here that I used up. One was a Benefit Professional Primer. This is a decent pore filling primer. I don't think it's the best thing I've ever used up, but at the same time, I don't think it's bad. So when I see like these items on sale or free in little like kits, I definitely don't look at them and as products as like I'm not interested in. They're definitely usable and they do some pore filling. It's just not the best thing ever. So I have one of those. I have this little Hourglass primer here, and I really got in there and got everything out as well as I could. Hopefully you can see that. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a lengthier review on this guy. I had really high hopes for this, and because I don't know why in my head, I didn't read any of the claims. I had in my head that it was going to be a more moisturizing kind of primer because it kind of looks like lotion in the tube, I think is the reason why. And the first time I used it with a mattifying like spray and a mattifying foundation, and I was so dried out by the end of the time I put on my makeup. Like, it just looked awful. And so I thought immediately, I was like, oh no, this is just a disaster product for me. However, I did end up pairing it with some foundations that end up breaking out on me later in the day, or they tend to make my face a little bit more oily, and I really enjoyed this product for that. This is not a primer. Typically I'm someone who likes to wear a hydrating primer and a pore filling primer. I just like the combination. This one I wore alone. I didn't wear it with any other primers. It was not a mixing primer for me. But on days where I just wanted to like kind of shorten my routine and just wear one primer, this was so nice and I actually really liked it. I kind of want to try the NYX Angel Veil primer because I've heard that that is a dupe for this one. I'm curious because honestly in the future I might pick this up in my collection because it actually did keep me rather like less oily throughout the day, which I was kind of surprised by. Most mattifying primers don't do anything for me oil control wise, but this one kind of did, and I actually really liked it, although it is like a ridiculous amount of money for this guy. I want to try some dupes first, but I might consider buying this in the future. Okay, next two items here, I have a concealer from Ulta Beauty. This I used up too, and it's so satisfying. Let's see if I can show you up in that tube. I really actually like this concealer. It's not the most full coverage concealer at all, and I'm typically someone who is ride or die for the most full coverage concealer that I can get my hands on, but this guy here claims to be waterproof, and I do like to take this on like beach vacations or anytime I'm going to a pool. I don't think it's completely waterproof. It does wear off by the end of the day, but it is one of the longer lasting concealers that I've ever tried, and so I do like it for that, and so I would pick up another of these up. I believe it retails for about $9 from Ulta, but if you wait for like 21 days of beauty sale, I know for a fact, I'm pretty sure that I got this for like $3 or less. So they will occasionally put these on like super duper sale, which I don't think they're worth $9 because compared to like a typical concealer, you don't get a ton of product in this like little tube. It's a smaller, it doesn't hold that much. So don't pay full price for this, but if you're looking for something that isn't full coverage, but it does have some like lasting power, this is not bad. Now the other product I have here is the Pure Cameo Contour Stick. And this thing I worked on all year. It was brand new pretty much when I rolled it into the projects that I was working on it this year. And I ended up digging the contour side out. I did not like the highlight side that much, so I decided to not dig that side out. But oh my goodness, not worth it at all. I think this thing retailed, I don't think it's sold anymore, but when it came out, it retailed for like $39.50 or almost $40, which is ridiculous because I'm telling you, there was not much product in this guy at all. I know for a fact I went through the contour side in like 3 months, from brand new to like done in like 3 months. Now the highlight side did take me a little bit longer to go through because I didn't really use a ton of it. I only used it to like clean up contour. So definitely not worth it. And it kind of makes me like, anytime I buy or think about buying something from the brand Pure, it makes me like go examine their like how much product you get in a product, because this thing was kind of a rip-off in my opinion. But I will say I luckily found mine at TJ Maxx for like $3.99 or $2.99, so I didn't get ripped off. But if I feel bad for anyone who did buy this product full price, it was not worth it in my opinion. Okay, next up I have two powders here. I have the Fit Me Loose powder and the Bare Minerals Mineral Veil. These are two very different powders in my opinion. I love both of them. I love like loose powders. I think I would tend to, if I had to choose, I would pick the Fit Me Loose powder more because it is a little bit more full coverage. This is not quite as finely milled as the Bare Minerals powder. And I'm just more comfortable using this kind of powder. It's just something that I've used for a long time. But this guy here, I have to say, has a place in my collection in that in the winter when my skin gets a little bit more dry, or I feel like things just don't sit quite on my skin as well because of the weather, this had a really nice place for that. It is super finely milled. It is the most finely milled powder I have ever tried. This was the Hydrating Mineral Veil. Now I don't think it really hydrated, but those kind of claims are typically a little bit gimmicky anyways, but I really enjoyed this. And if I don't think I would pay full price again. Like, I don't like to pay full price for anything. But if I saw this in TJ Maxx, which I do think that they put this on sale there quite a bit, or on sale at Ulta, I would definitely pick one of these up in the future, because especially if you're someone who is really picky about not wanting to fill the powder on your face, this is the most finely milled powder I've ever tried. It was not bad at all. All right, and next up is one that's probably one of the most exciting ones. This is my e.l.f. Contour Palette, and it's done. I finished it. This was in my year-long Pan That Face palette, and I'm so excited to have it done. And I almost forgot to review this item. I actually really like this. This was a pretty decent contour palette, and I think I got mine again from TJ Maxx really cheap. I would actually consider picking something like this up again. The highlight in it, I didn't like at all. I actually put that into a lotion just because it was not for me, but the setting powder that came in here and then the two contour and bronzing shades that came in here were really nice, and I definitely would pick those up again. Okay, next I have 4 eye products here. I have an Ardell lash. This, I love the Ardell lashes. This was not the faux mink style. The faux mink styles are my favorite, but I did use one up. Then I have this little Rimmel, I think it was a Rimmel eyeliner. I like this. I remember, like, first of all, do you see that I hit the wax there? It's so cool. I've never hit the wax on a product like this. Usually they always break but about the product, I remember liking it a lot when I first used it, but by the end of it, like me trying to use it up, it started transferring. I don't know if maybe it got a little bit old or something, but yeah, it would end up transferring from like my upper waterline, sometimes below my eyes, which I've never really had an issue with. So unfortunately, this is not a repurchase for me. And then I have 2 mascaras here. This Lancome Primer mascara. I actually really like this, but I don't think it's worth the full price value. Again, oh my goodness, I'm a broken record over here. But when you see it in like Sephora kits and things like that, I do think it was worth it to try. And then I also used up this Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, which I really enjoyed the experience of. It's the most like luxurious like packaging I've ever had with a mascara. Super nice, but I didn't really love the like bristles. They're more of that natural finish. I like those like plastic silicone kind of bristles a little bit more. I find that I need like the push to help curl my lashes and lengthen them, so this didn't quite give it to me, because if you try to get in there with your wand, it will like rub everywhere because it is quite a large brush. But it was not a bad mascara, but the component was so nice. I wish almost all like packaging felt like this because it just felt fancy. Although now it feels definitely a lot lighter because I've been using this for a full year. Okay, the last bit of makeup, we have like 8 or 9 items. And in this like makeup category, I include lip care and actual lipstick products. So I have 3 products from Bo. He is like the panning master of lip balms, and so he has a lot. I mean, he has 3 empties here. So what he likes to do is keep one in his nightstand. He keeps one here in the living room for applying. He keeps one in his book bag that he likes to put on before he bikes. And also if he just goes somewhere and forgets one, he usually keeps one in his pocket for like day-to-day work stuff. He keeps one at his desk just in case, again, he forgets. So he has a lot of them everywhere. So he's working on a ton of them at once. So it doesn't surprise me that he ends up finishing up a couple at once, but yeah, he is a beast. And then I managed to finish 2 things up. Now this one is not lip balm, but this is a lip scrub. It's called a lip mask from Mary Kay, but it is definitely a scrub. I ended up using that up. And then I finally finished my Laneige lip sleeping mask. This thing, I think it lasted me almost 2 years. Like I only applied it at night when I was going to bed, but I really enjoyed it. I remember when I bought it, I thought to myself, what did you just do? Why did you just spend like $20 on a lip balm? But it lasted me 2 years, so now I have no complaints. I have a couple other ones that I want to try, but I would definitely buy this one again should I not find another one that is better. And then last up in this lip category, I have one lip liner. This thing took me forever. This was a deluxe size sample from Buxom, and I did end up accidentally breaking the end off when I was trying to use it, and then it couldn't sharpen it anymore. So it is done. This was in the shade Hush Hush. I love the shade. I have a full size. I would definitely recommend this guy. And then I have a couple lip glosses here. I have one from Ulta. I love this one. This was in a nice like orange color. Really enjoyed that. I have this Buxom one that was a dark color, but it ended up like shearing out really nicely, and I love the Buxom formula. It's probably my favorite formula of lip gloss. I love that tingle. Like it's not too intense, but it feels nice and minty. And then this guy here is the Sexy Mother Pucker from Soap and Glory. This one has a tingle sensation to it, but it feels more artificial. It feels like you can definitely tell that it comes from some sort of chemical irritant, where the Buxom one almost feels like it just comes from like a natural mint that they put in the product or something. But I definitely prefer the Buxom gloss over this one, although these aren't bad. I would probably only pick up the Buxom ones in the future though, once I have a couple more of these formulas to use up first. Okay, now let's go on into skincare. I have a bunch of little guys to talk about first. First, I have this Aveeno peel off mask. So I had never tried a peel off mask before, and it was quite like surprising to actually feel it peel off, and it was like, it kind of hurt, especially if you have like baby hairs on your face, which who doesn't? So that was interesting, but it was pretty fun and entertaining. Now, I don't think I would buy these kind of things in the future just because I don't think they're the best for your skin, but it was kind of fun to try out on a one-time occasion. And then I have this guy here is the sleeping mask from Glow Recipe, the watermelon one. I really like the scent of it. And I actually did like the way it made my skin feel. But the problem I have with this is that there are other products on the market that have these AHAs in them that are good for like exfoliating your skin, and they're so much cheaper than what this is. Now, if I ever found it on like half off sale, I would totally pick it up because I really did enjoy it, but I don't know if it's worth the price, especially when you consider the ordinary AHA BHA peeling solution, like 10-minute mask, the red one is so darn good, and it's definitely like less than $15. I think it might be around $10 or so. So that one I prefer over something like this, but this was a much more gentle version of one, but I did kind of like it. And then the other things here, I have 4 little guys. I have the number 7, it was an eye cream. I have the Dr. Brandt Pores No More, like kind of, it's like a wrinkle cream of some sort, or no, it was not Pores No More, it was like a Wrinkles No More. And then this is the Lancome Genifique. This was the Ulta birthday gift this year, and I used it all the way up. And then I have a Clarins Concentrate Eye Cream. I didn't really love any of these. I found that well, first of all, I don't think this can actually do anything really for your wrinkles. The eye creams I think are kind of overpriced. Like honestly, when I start to break down the math on these guys and you start to look at proportionally how much you pay, like I think this little sample was worth about $15 or something ridiculous. So definitely not worth the money, especially again when you consider that those star ingredients that would be able to help you can put all over your face and you don't have to put it on your under eyes. So I'm kind of not on the eye cream train, but the Lancome serum again felt nice and spread nice, but I don't think the ingredients in it warrant the price, especially when there are serums out there from like Timeless and The Ordinary that offer such good ingredients for like way less than half the price of some of these things. Okay, next up I have a couple little guys here. These are Mario Badescu facial sprays. I'm trying to work these out of my collection. I don't want to buy scented facial sprays anymore. I do like applying my skincare to wet skin, but I have a little recipe that I like to make my own facial spray, so I'm trying to work these out of my collection, and in the future I'll just make my own and they won't be scented and it's fine. So then I have two little guys here. This is the Argireline solution from The Ordinary. I quite like this. Now, the research on this kind of ingredient isn't really that sound. Basically, there isn't enough research to know if this is effective on your skin or not, but it's one of those things that I'm like, it's a cheap enough product that if one day the research comes out and says, yes, it works, use it, then I've been doing it. If not, then I haven't really wasted that much. It's another occlusive thing that I can put on top of my skin. It is a very thin serum, so it doesn't provide that much occlusivity, like holding on moisture to your skin. But it is something that has nice slip and it feels nice, and I don't mind using it. So I'm hoping that in the future that they produce enough research for this ingredient to show that it is effective, but for now the jury's kind of still out. And then the other thing here is a squalene oil from Timeless. This was okay. I think the only real use for these kind of oils is, again, to hold that moisture on your skin for a longer period of time. One of the worst things for drying out your skin is the fact that eventually things will evaporate off of it. So this was nice for like the last step, like once you put on a bunch of really good ingredients and you put on your like good moisturizer, you put an oil like this on top, especially at nights when I tended to prefer this kind of thing. It's good for helping, again, your skin stay moisturized and stay plump. But other than that, I don't think it really has any all-star ingredients in it. So I am not the biggest fan of this. I tend to prefer a jojoba oil. I think the pH of that, I've heard before, is slightly closer to what your skin normally produces, and so I tend to prefer that. My skin kind of reacts better to that anyway, so this is not the best, but if you're needing an oil to help with like holding in moisture to your skin, it's not a bad one to pick up at all. And last up in the skincare category, I have a moisturizer here that Bo had managed to cut open. This is the Hydrating Facial Cleanser from CeraVe. It is his day and nighttime cleanser, and he loves it. Like, obviously, he takes the panning of this very seriously. I was surprised one day I walked in and he was just like sawing at it. So I highly recommend this guy. This is really great. I use this in the morning. It's not quite heavy duty enough to like get everything off my face at night, but it is a really nice cleanser. And then I have a Sephora cleansing balm. This is one of the oil ones, and I liked this, but I don't think it was the best like cleansing balm ever, although it was not a bad price, so I would consider picking something like this up again. And then I have a number 7 hot cloth cleanser, and I did not like this. It was very scented, and I don't really think it really helped with makeup removal. It's just not something that I really enjoyed at all, so I wouldn't pick this back up. Before we move into body care, I have one hair care item. This was a Tresemme little mini hairspray kind of thing, and I liked it, but I didn't love it. I think one of the common mistakes that I make is that I get lower hold hairsprays because I don't want to deal with buildup in my hair. I'd rather not wash my hair sooner if I can avoid it, so I don't use things that provide a lot of, or like build up easily in your hair. But at the same time, then I always see, like by the time I sit down to film, my curls have fallen quite a bit. Now in the south part of the US, I didn't have that issue because the humidity kind of helps my hair hold the curl, but here my hair will not hold a curl as well. So I think I need to just bite the bullet and use hairsprays that have a higher hold, but for now, I don't know, I just can't bring myself to do it. Okay, we're in the home stretch now, and we have some body care. I have 3 fragrance items kind of here. This is a fragrance powder mist, like a dusting thing, and it did have a scent to it. This is so old. I bought this probably in college, way more than 10 years ago, and I was so glad to use it up, but I don't even know if they sell these kind of things anymore, so wouldn't repurchase that. But then I have 2 guys here from Bath & Body Works. Victoria's Secret, Bath & Body Works. Candy Apple, I really enjoy this holiday scent. It's not my favorite, but it is like probably my second favorite. My first favorite is this one right here. The Snowy Morning one is so good. And then this one's definitely a very sweet candy apple kind of smell. And then this one here is Midnight Sparks from Victoria's Secret. And I really liked this one too. I think I've only tried like 3 or 4 of the Victoria's Secret ones, but I've liked all of the ones that I've tried. My favorite thing to use these for is like to spray myself right before I go to bed. It's just kind of relaxing to know that you smell good and you're crawling into bed and you get to snuggle up next to your significant other, and if you have one, it just feels good. So that's kind of what I prefer using mist for, and then I try to save my perfumes for like special occasion, going out date kind of things, but I do really enjoy having mist to spray on myself during the day too, but definitely enjoy these. Okay, last 3 products here. I have a shower oil from like Mind, Body, and Soul. I don't actually know. No, yeah, Mind, Body, and Soul. It smelled like peonies, but I don't really use body washes like that unless they're gifted to me. Not something I tend to buy for myself. And then I have a body butter here from Cretans? I don't know how you say it. It smells like mango and papaya. And this was my first ever body butter that I used up, and I really liked it, although I did have to kind of like, it was a little bit more of a workout to rub it into your body because it was such a thick product, but I did think that it really did help moisturize my skin a little longer than like a typical body lotion did. It didn't evaporate off my skin as quickly, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I did like this, and I definitely want to keep at least one body butter in my collection and around the house, but I don't know if I want to try this brand again or if I want to try to pick something else up. I haven't replaced it yet, but I need to look for something when I go back to the store. And then the last thing I have here is a Nivea Body Milk. I don't know what the difference between a body milk and a body lotion is. It didn't really feel any different to me. This did have olive oil in it, and I definitely did feel like this was a more oily lotion. I did not really like this, so I don't think I would pick this up. I recently, to replace this guy, I picked up like a Vaseline lotion that doesn't have any scent in it, and I really like it a lot better than this. Yeah, this one, I don't know why, I felt oily. Has anybody tried something like this, and do you have that same experience? Because I did not like it. Okay, the lotion was the last item, so now I can tell you what the entire value of all of these items are. That was $400.63 worth of product, and I just stuffed them in this bag here, and there are a lot of them. So if you made it through all this video with me, thank you for watching. Make sure you say hello in the comments, let me know how you're doing, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.